Rothschild heir claims initial win over Vienna in battle over Nazi seized trust court, says foundation must be independently represented due to city's conflict of interest. Descendant says he wants to re-establish charity as a center for neurological care. A member of the Rothschild banking dynasty has claimed victory in the first stage of a legal battle against Vienna over a family trust that was seized by the Nazis during World War II and then appropriated by the Austrian city. Geoffrey Hoguet's suit revolves around a foundation set up in 1907 with the funds of his great-great-uncle Nathaniel Freiherr von Rothschild, who left the equivalent of about €100 million, $110 million, when he died in 1905, to provide psychiatric help for the needy. Hoguet, a 69-year-old New York investor, is accusing Vienna of appropriating the foundation in breach of its founder's will and perpetuating Nazi-era laws. He only learned of the foundation's existence in 2018. A court has backed Hoguet in an early stage of the legal fight, The Guardian reported on Saturday, stating that the city of Vienna has a conflict of interest over the foundation's finances, and that therefore the charity must be represented by an independent figure in the legal proceedings. The decision is an important first-stage win in our legal battle with the city of Vienna to correct the course of Nazi-era injustices endured, until today, Hoguet told the newspaper. In doing so, the court recognizes the improprieties conducted by the city of Vienna since the Nazi usurpation of that foundation in 1938. Hoguet additionally called on officials in Vienna to reinstate an independent governing board for the foundation and return the Nazi booty to serve its purpose as dedicated by my family. At stake is, among others, a neurological hospital dating from 1912, whose elegant period architecture makes it stand out in a 230-hectare, 300 acres park on the capital's outskirts. The lawyer for Vienna argues that the 1956 restoration of the foundation was done in agreement and according to the initial wishes of Nathaniel von Rothschild following its dissolution by the Nazis in 1938. But Hoguet sees this differently and wants to honor the legacy of his great-great-uncle, telling The Guardian that the foundation was basically now just a real estate organization, leasing its one remaining clinic to a public hospital for a nominal sum, with no mention of the Rothschild legacy. I went back in February and walked around the campus of the hospital, and there wasn't one reference to the family's name, said Hoguet, adding that it was one of a number of incidents in which he says his family's legacy is being erased by Vienna. He wants to annul the sale of one of two sanatoriums in the early 2000s, a late Baroque palace that was reportedly one of the world's earliest centers of mental health treatment, and aims to nullify a 2017 clause that determines that if the foundation were dissolved, its wealth would go to the city of Vienna. Hoguet said that he wished to re-establish the charity as a center for neurological and mental health care, adding that although he would not benefit financially, he had an interest in the field as he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Hans Gerlach, the lawyer charged with Vienna's response to the claims, told the Financial Times that Hoguet's arguments were not tenable, adding that the fate of the foundation had been settled decades ago and was completely in line with its original purpose. However, Hoguet maintained that when Vienna re-established the foundation, it was obligated to ensure that a majority of board members were nominated by the Rothschild family. It would not have been difficult to reach out to the family, whether in Paris or in London, to find out who of the Austrian branch of the family were still around, Hoguet said. Ghetto to palaces, the dispute recasts the spotlight on Austria's ambivalent relationship with the Jewish banking family, whose history goes hand in hand with the former Habsburg Empire's financial and commercial success. The history of the Rothschilds has been repressed from Vienna's collective memory, said Austrian historian Roman Sandruber, who authored a 2018 book on the history of the Rothschilds' Austrian branch. In the early 1800s, the Rothschild patriarch, Mayer Amschel, originally from the Jewish ghetto in Frankfurt, had sent his 5 sons to develop family affairs in Europe's major capitals. His second son, Salomon Mayer von Rothschild, set up the first bank in Vienna in 1820, and his son Anselm founded Credit Anstalt in 1855. Hoguet served on the executive of the bank before it disappeared in the 1990s. As in London and Paris, the Rothschild Bank of Vienna quickly became a crucial partner for those in power. It helped to finance wars as well as big urban and industrial projects, including mines and railroads, and effectively propped up the monarchy. When Emperor Franz Joseph held protracted discussions with Albert Rothschild, the rumor was that the monarchy was crossing a bad financial stretch, writes Georg Marcus, a journalist and specialist on the Austrian monarchy. In 1887, the emperor gave Albert Rothschild the right to frequent the imperial court, a rare honor for a Jewish person. Upon his death in 1911, he was considered the richest man in Europe according to Sendruber. It was also during this period that Nathaniel, one of Albert's brothers, a philanthropist more focused on art than finance, made the largest individual donation in Austrian history to create a foundation bearing his name to set up psychiatric hospitals, which were well ahead of the times. Wild theories, but as much as financial success, anti-Semitism too, shaped the family saga, with the Rothschilds pushed out of Austria when Nazi Germany annexed it in 1938. The name Rothschild was both the target of those who stirred crowds with hatred of the Jews, as well as of the anti-capitalists, Sendruber told AFP. Long before the internet age, the wildest theories about the family circulated. One of them claimed that the first of the Viennese Rothschilds, Salomon, was Adolf Hitler's grandfather, prompting the chancellery at that time to open an investigation. After the war, the sumptuous family palaces in the center of Vienna, a Rothschild hospital and a train station funded by the banking establishment, were all demolished to make way for modern constructions. Not only did the fighting itself damage this heritage, but it was also a story with which Austria was not comfortable, said Michaela Fürstein-Prasser, author of the Jewish Vienna Guide. It was not until 2016 that a Rothschild Square was inaugurated in Vienna at the headquarters of the banking group Unicredit Bank Austria, which absorbed Credit Anstalt in the 1990s.